This is BBC Sussex.
Loving where we live.
With Allison Ferns.
Our My Life guest this afternoon is Miss Superfood, which makes you sound like a superhero, and yet I can't see any cake.
I left it at home.
What I can see, though, is that you are wearing a jumper, a sweatshirt, which says on the front of it, Vegan Goddess, which kind of explains what it is you do.
Yep, so I've become very passionate about the vegan lifestyle and eating a plant-based diet and basically being a voice now for the animals that are, needlessly slaughtered for food and used for entertainment and other purposes. So I feel very passionate about helping people work towards a vegan lifestyle.
I wanted to get you on because we had a chat about veganism a couple of weeks ago on the programme, and what really struck me was this kind of backlash almost, on the text line from people saying, I'm fed up with people telling me what I should eat and drink, it's fine if they want to do it, but I'd have to ram it down our throat. And I thought it was only fair, really, that we get a vegan on to kind of give their side of the argument. Do you understand why people feel got at by vegans?
Yeah, sure, because I wasn't vegan from birth, so I've not been vegan all the time, so I understand it from both points of view. The way I try and look at it now, though, is I look at it from the victim's point of view, and the humans really are not the victims here. It really definitely is the animals. I go to slaughterhouses and see them being literally truckloaded in, and when you look into their eyes and see that they're just like little puppy dogs and little kittens, really, you really get to make the connection that we have this thing called speciesism going on, where we feel like it's okay to love our cats and dogs, but it's also like socially okay to be slaughtering pigs, sheep and chickens.
You came to veganism, didn't you, around when you were about 19, is that right?
Yeah.
Because you were suffering with a health condition.
Yeah, that's right. So I was about 19 and I had chronic fatigue syndrome. So as a 19-year-old, I'm supposed to have loads of energy and be, living life to the full. And I was actually almost bedbound with the condition. Really? So I kind of knew that I had to make massive lifestyle changes. And that is when I started with a plant-based diet first. And then over time, once I'd educated myself about what these animals actually go through, I then made the decision to become an ethical vegan and actually have the vegan lifestyle.
Was it hard to get that diagnosis for chronic fatigue syndrome?
It did take a little while, but I went straight to a specialist, and he's very experienced. He's written a lot of books on the case, on the condition. And he saw me, and straight away he knew what this was.
He recognised it.
Yeah.
It must have been awful, because like you say, 19, you kind of prime of your life, you expect to kind of be out there grabbing every opportunity. You can't do that if you're stuck in bed.
That's right. And I was at university and I had this expectation that I would be like living the best life ever. And actually it was very different for me. Those years were very difficult. And I'm now grateful when I look back, though, that I did go through that, because I did need to be pushed into a more ethical lifestyle. And sometimes it takes chronic conditions to make you make the change. But I don't think it always should have to. I think that, when now we have this like a load of information available on how to eat a plant-based diet and live a vegan lifestyle, it's a lot easier now for people to access this information and then implement the changes that are necessary for optimum health.
I think a lot of people, though, you're right in what you say, there is a lot of information out there, but I think a lot of people look at the information and think, I haven't got time. I've got too much else going on in my life. I think it feels to some people like too much of a change.
Can definitely feel like that for some people, and I think to start taking the steps in that direction. Now there's just so much support though. You have this thing called like Challenge 22, where you can sign up for free and you can do a 22-day vegan challenge. You get a free mentor, someone there to answer all your questions, and you just didn't have that like 18 years ago. I'm actually like a single mum. I run a business. I do like vegan advocacy. I do talks and workshops and things on the YouTube channel. So I know what it's like to be really super busy. And I would say that this lifestyle's given me so much more energy that if I was eating a standard UK diet, there is no way I could survive on like the amount of sleep I now have or the stuff I do. There's just no way I'd be able to do it.
So what do you eat? What's kind of your typical daily diet?
Well, I try my best to get as much raw food into my diet as possible. So I like to do juicing, or if I don't have time, I'll buy fresh juices, because in Brighton we're completely spoilt for choice. So it's really easy to get hold of green juices and just all different sorts of fresh juices. So I do that. What I do is I take like the favourite foods that I used to eat and I just veganise them.
Oh, go on, like what?
Okay, so like this morning, for example, I had a hot chocolate and I made it with oat milk, date syrup, cacao. I just blended it up and then I put it in the pan and heated it.
And can you get all of that stuff at your regular supermarket, or do you have to go to specialist shops?
No, it's all from, you can all get it all from the supermarket now.
Is it more expensive though?
No, not really. I mean, because this is how much this movement has changed over the years. It used to be, I used to just be able to get it from health food shops, and it was really difficult online. Yeah. Now, literally, you can go to your favourite supermarket.
What do you miss about your old lifestyle? There must be some days where you just think, oh, what would I do now for, I don't know, whatever it was that you used to enjoy?
Oh, that's a good question. I'd say now, because I've been doing this for like so long, I've not found a situation that I've been in that I haven't been able to make a vegan solution for. So if I've wanted something to eat, I cannot remember the last time I haven't been able to access it or make it myself. Because I think, in Brighton, like, we have so much available here that it probably is the easiest place.
Is it harder when you go elsewhere, though?
Well, not
we do
really.
live in a bit of a bubble, I think, in Brighton.
Yeah, we have a lot here. I spend some time in Thailand as well, but I will actively seek out places that I know have amazing vegan options. So I go to like places like Koh Phangan, which is like the vegan capital of Thailand, really. It's vegan capital island. So I'll actually go for places I know have loads of healthy alternatives, because I have a genuine interest in health. So when I travel about the UK a lot, and because you can get all this stuff in supermarkets now, it makes it really, really super easy. And what I do is I always just keep the victim in mind. So I always just think of the animals, and I think to myself, once I'd educated myself from that point of view, it just makes it completely effortless.
And we'll hear more from Jessica Michael, aka Miss Superfood, after this. The Beatles on BBC Sussex and BBC Surrey. You join me this afternoon in conversation with Miss Superfood. Jessica Michael is her real name. She's from Brighton and she is passionate about veganism. Obviously, I put to Jessica some of the most common arguments that people have against being vegan. I suppose one of the most popular being, well, come on, my ancestors ate meat. It's part of evolution. We're the top of the food chain.
Yeah, I think the thing is to bear in mind that being vegan is about doing the least amount of harm. Like, none of us are completely perfect, and just by way of existing on this planet, we're going to cause damage to some degree, but we can lessen the damage through a vegan lifestyle. And I think to keep that in mind, of course, there's going to be accidental deaths. This is going to be the case, but actually an accidental death and like breeding an animal into existence with the sole purpose of slaughtering that animal in kind of a very gruesome way as well is just not like where I personally want to be. And I think, we have choices now. We have like so many choices, and we don't have to live in this kind of way if we don't want to. We can live a more compassionate lifestyle where there isn't a blatant victim involved.
Do you worry, though, about the impact this rise of veganism will have on farming communities, agriculture?
I know there's many farmers now that are transitioning to away from the animal agricultural industries and into plant farming now. And there are many cases of farmers doing this, and the Vegan Society actually supports farmers who are making this transition. And I think it's sensible for farmers to consider this now, because farmers are always complaining that the amount they get for dairy milk now is decreasing massively, and it's not really a very sustainable industry from a planet point of view, from an animal welfare point of view, from a health point of view. There are better alternatives now, and I think that what so many farmers now are looking at other options. I do think that's sensible to do that.
Of course, diet's one aspect of living a vegan lifestyle. Clothes, shoes, leather products, all of that. You're also really kind of hot on all of that as well, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. So my journey started off on the plant-based diet because of the health link, but then once I'd started to look into other areas, did stop buying all leather products, wool, any bee products, and I've managed to find vegan alternatives for absolutely everything now. And I'm just more conscious when I'm shopping. I'll check labels, I'll have a quick look at things to see what things are made out of. And if it's not a vegan and it's not ethical, then I'll choose to buy something else instead.
Because the thing is, you can find animal products in pretty much everything. And I think, sometimes people aren't aware of that.
Yeah, that's right. You're totally right. There are animal products hidden in absolutely everything, even like £5 notes. This is how badly these animals are used, and I'm very much for being with animals and living alongside them and not using them as products as such.
What do you do though with something like a £5 note? You can't live your life and never come into contact with a £5 note.
No, exactly. That's why it's about just doing the best you can do and trying to do the least amount of harm. And because this problem is an epidemic as such, you have to clue yourself up and just be aware. It's made me much more conscious now as a consumer, so that I'm trying to always make the best choices and I'm aware of what's happening as much as possible. But I think very much just because we've always done something doesn't always make it moral and correct. We've always done a lot of things. Slavery was legal for a long time. Women had no rights for a long time. There was no gay rights for a very long time. Just because we've always done something doesn't mean we shouldn't question the ethics behind it and be the change that we wish to see in the world.
You've also got this whole range of beauty products, because again, face creams, makeup, a lot of them have got animal products in.
Yeah, that's right, a lot of them do, and I think that I kind of feel that I probably shouldn't be putting it on my skin if I can't eat it. So I started formulating raw organic vegan skincare. And because I'm so into superfoods, I started actually experimenting with putting superfoods into skincare.
Oh, right.
And I realised goji berries, hemp, MSM, all these kind of superfoods, broccoli, they work really well when you topically apply them to the skin.
What's MSM? I've heard of the others, but MSM's a new one on me.
Yeah, it's an inorganic sulfur and it's known for a supplement, so you find it in health food shops. And it's really good at rebuilding collagen in the skin, and it works incredibly well if you take it internally and also apply it topically to the skin.
Is it going to make me look younger?
Well, you can try it and see what you think.
I'll give it a go.
I think when it comes to anti-aging, it's this big misconception that you put this magic cream on and you go back 10, 15 years, but it's about applying nutrition to the skin. It's about allowing the skin to absorb the goodness. And when you start putting waxes in products, even things like beeswax, you create this barrier between your skin and the nutrients in the product. And as soon as you take that out, all my skincare has no wax in it. As soon as you take that out, the nutrition actually from the Rawgaia Superfood skincare gets right into your skin, and that's when you start to notice the massive benefits.
You mentioned you're a parent. How tricky or not is that, bringing up a child with a vegan lifestyle?
It's been really straightforward. Right from early on, I would just talk in an age-appropriate way to my children about what happens to animals. Children are vegan at heart. No child wants animals to be harmed, especially for them.
Were you not worried about the health implications, though, that they wouldn't be getting the right nutrients, vitamins, all of that?
Not really, no, because you have organisations like the British Dietetic Association, for example, who state that a vegan diet at any life stage, as long as it's well planned, is suitable for everybody. I decided to educate myself on nutrition, became a nutrition consultant, and my kids are really healthy. They've got to 7 and 10 and they've never seen a doctor for illness.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm pretty confident I'm doing the right thing with them.
There will be people, though, listening who are shouting at the radio saying, but surely you should let them make their own decision on this rather than you kind of tell them what they can and can't eat.
Yeah, I don't tell them. They're of an age now where they can choose what they want to eat. They make ethical choices and they are very comfortable with wanting to be friends with animals and not actually eat them.
Isn't it tricky, though, when they go for play dates and what have you? I mean, children often don't want to be the odd one out. They want to kind of do what their friends are doing. Isn't it difficult if they're at the school disco, I don't know, and it's hot dog time and they're going, I'm sorry, I can't eat that.
Well, they go to a really good school that do vegan options. They get vegan dinners that are open to all children in the school as well. So it's a very forward-thinking school. So that's been really, really helpful. And also, there's so many foods that are accidentally vegan anyway that you wouldn't even think would be vegan. And the difference is my children know what those foods are. So when there's a choice of sweets, for example, or a choice of crisps, they'll know which ones they want to go for. And like I said, they're of an age where they can make their own decisions, but they consciously choose the more compassionate options.
How do other people react to your vegan lifestyle? Has it all been positive, or have you had a bit of this kind of, oh, look. It's like the old joke, isn't it? How do you know if someone's a vegan? Oh, they'll tell you. I mean, if you come up against that.
And how do you know someone's not vegan? Because I'll tell you that as well. Well, you know, like, it's about what you put out there, isn't it? I mean, I'm not a massively judgmental person. I understand life can be difficult for people. I understand that as a concept. And so, you know, I don't automatically go in like hard judging people. And equally, I really don't seem to attract that back. And of course, you know, what I'm doing, not everyone's going to agree with. But, you know, I have my reasons for it. And I feel very compassionate. And I feel like I'm doing something to help the environment, to help the animals, to help, like, everybody's health. And there are going to be people that don't understand it, but that's okay, because it's about planting seeds, and it's about education, and it's about learning. And I think if people are open to learning, open to deepen their experience, then they're going to naturally be more interested in looking at other ways of living and question their lifestyle.
And if people do want to find out more about what you do in particular, how can they do that?
Oh, they can go to my website if they want. It's misssuperfood.com or rawgaia.com.
Serving Sussex.
On FM.
Online.
And on DAB digital radio.
This is BBC Sussex.